pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And roll call that. Kevin?
Here.
Here. Yes?
Here.
Here?
Here.
Yeah, here. Okay, visitors and public comment. Anybody have anything to say? Okay. Approval of town board minutes from the meeting from July 13th, 2020. I had a chance to look them over.
Yeah, Patty, this is just a minor, very, very minor point. Sometimes when you're typing, you spell my name M-A-Y-U-E-X. It's very easy to do, and I think at the top of the minutes there's a spot. My name is spelled as such, okay?
Okay.
It's just, yeah, right at the top, visitors, public comments, where U-X. Yeah, it's easy to do on the keyboard, actually, comment on,
Okay.
right?
Find any other
E-U-X.
ones?
What's that?
Find any others?
I don't know what I found this time.
Is it
Okay?
B?
No, there's another one.
There's another one under garbage and
Well,
recycling.
I see
Well, there's another one.
back for
Which
the
one?
two.
Oh, under unfinished business.
Yeah, yeah.
Under
that's the one.
under the clerk report, #1, checks to approve.
Yeah.
Right before,
Under-
all right.
Under new business.
so anyway, just,
Yeah, you want to correct Gary's name? Do that.
biggest mistake we make, we're okay.
Exactly.
We know who you are.
Yeah, with a name like that, either way, we know who you are.
My name is Jesse's name, usually, so.
Okay, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Planning Commission, Dorothy Olson.
Okay, well, we had our meeting on July 27th, and got a little warm at times, but there was a lot of discussion about the Wendell property over on Red Hawk, and we tabled that until we find out more, and we were gonna have another meeting last Monday. That got tabled again because the county wants to address different issues. Then we also, there was a motion and a second by the town board, or by the plant commission, to not approve the CSM for the Culp property. And the reason that we didn't know what their intentions were, and the outlet makes a big difference when you designate property as outlots. It cannot be built on. There's certain rules that pertain to that. So at the plant commission, we said no.
Anything else?
Nope, we're just waiting for the
County.
survey to come out and Scotts County to notify us.
Okay, Fire Department, Rod.
Since our last normal board meeting, we had 2 EMS calls, 1 motor vehicle accident, and I issued 5 burning permits. We do have a new hire, it's Morgan Peterson. She does not have her paperwork done yet, so she's not responding to anything, just for that, for you, Patty. We'll be getting that to you shortly. Classes, nothing to report, obviously with the COVID stuff. They are looking forward to starting stuff in September. So hopefully we can get some people in some classes there. The department is continuing in-person meetings and trainings. These gatherings take place with the guidelines as temperature checks and members entering the building, and also social distancing, and of course now the masks. Training for this next month, we will be focusing on fire attack and search and rescue. Stratford's been nice enough, and the Rizaldo feed mill over there has been nice enough. They own one of the houses that's right next to it, and they've been allowing Stratford to train, and they're also allowing us to train them too. So we'll be going over there next Tuesday night to work on that stuff. And with the COVID update, with the increased cases in the area, the station is currently back under lockdown until further notice. This is for the safety of both the department members and the community members. And Patty, your combination still works. I'm just asking out of you to use your discretion not to go in the building or to allow anyone else in.
You mean me?
I mean, Deb, sorry.
Okay. No, I don't.
So, but yours is still there in case you have to get in.
Okay.
And with the EMS group, the Morgan Peterson, she is coming from Central Fire, and she does have EMS training. So she's coming on board trained. And then we'll also be training with the new AEDs that we purchased a couple of months back.
What are
That's all that I have.
AEDs?
Automatic,
What are AEDs?
automatic go.
Automated external defibrillators.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Rod? Okay, move on. Finance Committee, Jess.
Nothing new.
Okay. Library, there was nothing new, buildings and grounds, we put bark out, I think you've all seen it, clean that all up. And the newsletter, I haven't gotten anything from the fire department yet.
Should have showed up today.
Late today?
Days.
I haven't gotten anything yet.
I just sent you mine too.
I haven't gotten yours yet either.
You got mine?
I got yours,
There's
Kim.
a paper copy. The digital copy should be coming. She said she sent it out before she was
Okay.
milking, so.
I didn't get yours yet either, Jess, so.
Well, I literally just sent it, well, Kate sent it as I was driving here.
I was.
Now I understand. Okay. That goes in with this. So the newsletter I plan on having all put together by the end of the week and into, what we'll call us down there, print or whatever it is. Any questions? Okay, garbage and recycling,
Don't
Mr.
forget to
Manuel.
get
Hold
get
on,
the updated list from her.
what?
The updated list for her newsletter.
I already taken care of. She hasn't gotten it to me yet, but she told me she has it. She probably emailed it to me just recently. I'm not here.
Oh, yeah, I thought I was the last minute.
Sometimes you
Not
have
the
to
last week, we
multitask.
have through the end of this week. No, not through. Okay, garbage and recycling.
Nothing really new that I'm aware of. I'm gonna send you a very brief, three-liner for the newsletter
And the stuff you gave me.
and we'll include literature on recycling that people read through that's helpful about what shouldn't go in recycling and go in recycling and all that stuff. But nothing else, nothing new.
I do have a question. On Friday morning, our garbage was not picked up, and I called them today, and they said I need to talk to my town board representative. So how are we gonna get my garbage picked up? Because my can is full and I need it for the week.
They didn't get ours either. The whole south side of Birch, I don't know, but I called Friday and I left mine out and everybody down the road. They did come and get mine and,
Yeah, that was.
and Grant put theirs out and they picked them up, but the other ones all took theirs in. So I don't know what
I
happened.
just know it didn't get picked up until I got home from work, and if I don't know it, I can't call.
I don't know what happened, Friday, there was some problems, they came, they normally come on 2 o'clock down my road. And they were there at daybreak, literally, they picked up mine and then didn't pick up the rest of the street, as they were coming from Day Road. And then today, I saw they were picking up garbage and not with the automated truck, just one
Yeah,
driving
yeah,
truck.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
I stopped him and asked him what was going on, and, basically, the F words were flying left and right, and he was just saying that, whoever it was that had, the dumb so-and-so who came on Friday screwed everything up, and now I gotta pick up the mess. That's all I know, I mean, something went wrong Friday with the driver they had.
So how
And if
do
you-
I get my garbage picked up now?
If
Because
you-
it can't sit for another week.
Call them and tell them. That's what I
Yeah.
thought
I called
then they
them.
called back today and they said, we'll be there today. So we pushed it back out, evidently.
Yeah,
Grant's
if
must
there's
have
somewhere
called.
else that they messed it up, give them a call, okay?
Because I called them and they said I had to talk to my supervisor.
All right,
so
well, I need to know
talked
where you
them.
live and what happened, okay? You need to email me, because I'll never remember
Okay.
all this, and to try to call them. I mean, Burris was taken care of, some kind of way they,
Yeah, well, I'm sure some of my neighbors, because they pulled them back in.
Yeah. I don't know. So, email me and let me know
Okay.
what street and when there was no pickup and whatever, and I'll try to see if I can get Gail want to do something, okay?
Okay, good, thank you.
Mr. Franz, highway.
Well, I think Pat's got a bunch of gravel roads all hopefully fixed up. I don't know if you got your soft spot down there yet?
Hasn't even been looked
I
at.
know a bunch of the other ones, and, got the last culvert in, they got patched over, and there's now chip seal
Over on Canaan.
on Keeman, so that got done Thursday, they put one coat, and Friday morning, they put the next coat, so that's done.
He's checking on the dimensions for that one culvert, or is that one?
Montgomery.
Yeah,
I know,
Patty got a hold of Booyar.
I know we talked about either putting in a larger or two culverts, because supposedly it doesn't have it. But I couldn't remember what the sizes were,
Yeah, he said 48, but he's gonna go and double check and then let her know.
because I know the culvert that's in there was added on,
Mhm.
you know, you can see, but yeah, that whole thing, I was there Saturday, and I mean, that culvert just keeps sinking.
We got a call today too, Jess got it, so did I, on Don Person over on used to be Davis Lane. There was a lot of potholes, so I just called Pat, told me to get that taken care of.
I got a call just before I left for Legion 2, guy over on Meadow Lane, going to be putting in, and he says, it says no trucks. Daniel, he's getting in a new, must be taking a septic out, he's gonna be getting in the above ground, and he says no trucks. I said, just have them come in.
Yeah, there's stuff like that.
No,
there.
you gotta go in, you gotta go in. He said, okay.
Any questions for Gary?
Have they started on cleaning all the ditches over on Birch yet for you?
Not yet, we were, over there the other day, because there's a couple of culverts, or lack of culvert, one's got to put one in, and there's one that's, another one that needs to be replaced.
I know that was one of your projects.
Yes,
Are you getting any
Yeah.
pushback from the residents about replacing it?
no, and actually both have got to be replaced, just Kenny and where his son lives, and he's gonna replace it. Yeah, that, right off the tee between them two, I mean, the water's just standing there.
Yeah, I mean,
And I thought there was a culvert collapsed in there, and he doesn't think there is a culvert, so I don't know. Evidently, when they talked to all the property owners, you know, if any of them had a problem going back, 33 feet off the center, they didn't talk to Kenny, and well, I talked to him the other night, he was really busy, he says he'd get back to me, and he hasn't yet, but, and then there are some good-sized trees in there, that are gonna have to come down if we wanna clear that whole right of way, and now I'm scratching my head we really gotta take them big trees out of there.
Are they in the
Just
right of way?
get the brush out of there, yeah, I mean, they're actually growing on the backside of the ditch,
Mhm.
and I guess my thought is they should come out of there.
Whatever it is.
Yep.
Kevin, you got anything to add? Did you happen to get over to Martin's and talk to them at all? I believe it's Martin's.
Is that the ones with the chickens on Hattemer?
No, not that one. This is another chicken issue. But it's on E. I think I had told you about it, that Ronnie had both said everything to me.
Yeah, I kind of was in contact with Marathon County and I got the ordinance printed.
Okay.
A lot of what it depends upon is how you're zoned and how many acres you have.
Okay.
The one on, I'm gonna call it Davis Lane yet, because that's what it was, but,
Hattemer.
2 acres, 8 chickens, end up in the backyard.
Mhm.
Whatever requirements, if there's any buildings that have to go up, then there's a building permit required for it. I believe if you put a roof on something, it's gonna be considered a building. If you just put a pen up, it's not. Any small rough thing if they wanna go in, I mean, I see portable chicken things all over the county. It's no different than a dog house really. It's an issue all over the place, and it's really nothing for the town board to enforce or do. It goes to Marathon County, and I believe Lean is who I've been talking with. They've been coming in and working on Sundays, because this is, with everybody home with this COVID thing, it's the busiest year they've ever had for permits and having to run around and do stuff, so these guys are actually working 7 days a week at the zoning office. Chickens are very low on their
Priority list?
their list to worry about.
People going back to their old ways, huh?
Gardening and chickens.
Basically, I mean, if somebody's got an issue, talk to your neighbors first, don't just make phone calls and
Dave, wasn't it Ronnie Goetz that had brought it up at that meeting at joint planning, that they were planning on bringing a trailer,
Yep.
something on that end, order, and bringing quite a few chickens in? So if you could curtail that before it gets,
she got a list of the copy of the ordinance
Okay.
last night.
okay, so you did go talk to her?
I didn't have a chance to speak with her, but her son was at her house for something last night, so.
Okay.
I see the corner of T and 97, there was one sitting there, now I haven't seen any chickens. But what you, and I dealt with this with my neighbor. You have to be 25 feet off the property line, and the chicken coop has to be in the backyard, it can't be in the side of the yard. It's gotta be in the back, it's gotta be 25 feet, 12 or less, and you must have 2 acres. In rural residential, minimum of 2 acres. And they have to be fenced in, they can't run loose.
Can they have
And
roosters?
no roosters.
And that's under rural residential.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
But when you get into agriculture and stuff, that's all different.
Right.
And I mean, there's, like Kevin's letter says, there's so many things in there.
Yeah,
So how is that particular property zoned?
That's ag,
that's ag over there.
So we kind of get a pass.
that's right.
Right, then they can let them run. I know they got some over in Sugar Bush running loose, and
And a lot of this started with, when COVID started, everybody was gonna raise their own chickens in their backyard. That's why there's so many chickens out there right now. The Fox are very happy.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, in this ordinance, it's specific with horses and other animals too, the number per acre and again, where you're zoned and, really, like I said, if someone's got a problem, just talk to your neighbor first. You can make recommendations or call your town board, but really, it's Marathon County's the one that.
Now, do they have any stipulations on whether they can run free, or do they have to be penned
No,
up?
they have to be banned.
Yeah.
In rural residential.
In residential, right.
Okay, so, on Culp's property, or Martin's, is that Martin's over there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Martin. It's like a third owner.
That's ag,
Okay,
general ag.
that's general ag, so they can run, okay. Just checking.
But and I don't know if anything's any different. I know many years ago, I guess it's no different than today. If your dog runs on the road and somebody hits it, you're responsible for the damages to the vehicle. If somebody goes in the ditch because they went to miss a chicken. If you're feeding deer and they're crossing the road consistently to come into your feeder, you are responsible for
Can't
damages.
feed deer.
But not.
Silly boy.
County said it's legal. I mean, they're responsible for bringing the animals in and causing the damage out.
Okay, any questions? All right, unfinished business, treasurer, financial report.
We reconciled.
We reconciled,
Yes, we did.
fairly easy, except for the printer issue. What we fixed. The printer issue. What I'd like to do is move up, the proposal to switch banks to now. Can we get a motion to move that?
I'll make a motion
Okay, and we need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
I'd like to move that to now, so where Steve can handle this, because he has some proposals to switch banks for us.
I called somebody on the 1-800 hotline there at the bank, and I was told that we get interest posted to our accounts in May and November, so I have a feeling we're losing a little bit of compounding there. I was also told the fees were deducted at that time, so we've got fees that we're being charged that we don't know about, maybe, don't know for sure, but I think it's time to switch banks and make the system a little bit more honest. I interviewed 4 different banks, and Associated seems like they're pretty much in line with what we would like to do. It's close by to the township. They're flexible as to fees, and there would only be fees on deposits in December and January. And I just felt comfortable talking to Adam down there. And that would be my recommendation.
With the CDs, we'd have to leave them sit until they mature, correct?
Correct. And the note would too.
Okay.
What are you gonna lose, 10th?
I'm sorry?
What are you gonna lose, 1/10%?
I don't
If you
know.
withdraw it early?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's up to the board, if you guys want to take it out early, if you want to wait until it matures.
my recommendation would be to leave the CDs alone
That's,
and
well,
transfer the rest of it.
leave the CDs till they're matured.
And with the checking, is that what you're?
Checking
looking at?
in the minor savings accounts and the tax savings account.
Yeah, I heard that Associated,
What's that?
you hear a lot of good about them now.
Yeah, I bank at Associated, I think Dorothy does. We talked
I-
about that. I told Steve, whoever he was comfortable with, I was fine with. So we'll need a motion to switch banks.
First, you need a vote on the motion to move the agenda item.
Oh, I thought, you need to, all in favor, say aye.
We did that.
Opposed?
They did that?
I thought
Did
we-
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't
All
take
right, I
it, so
would-
now I like it.
I would now make a motion to go ahead and approve the switching of banks as Steve suggested to Associated.
Okay, we need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Part of that process is going to be dealing with a lot of the very old outstanding checks that we've got sitting there.
Well,
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up, I mean, we got some way over a year,
Yeah, I know.
and I thought
Isn't there
that
a
a
thing
couple
on
of
the
them
bottom
was
that
gonna,
says void after so many days?
no, our checks don't see that.
maybe we should have that printed. on
Maybe you
our
need to have that
checks.
printed on your checks.
Well, we got a new opportunity to do checks, so.
I was gonna say, wasn't that a standard?
Oh, John, I'm sorry.
Void after 90 days is not valid on checks. It's up to the bank cashing bank as to whether the issuer can pay.
I
And
can't understand you, you're gonna have to pull it down so I can hear you.
Okay, so the void after 90 days is not valid. The bank can still cash the checks.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put it on there, but it's, the bank can still cash it and still hold you liable for the money.
Right. But I think after 6 months, didn't we talk about that a while ago, Patty?
We talked about it.
Several times.
It's still valid. You can cash a check from the year 2000 if you want, as long as the bank thinks that the issuer can still pay it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get a check from the town of Millen, and the town of Millen is still in existence, they'll say, well, they probably still have enough money in their bank account, I'm gonna cash this check.
So,
I think we need to try and get hold of these people. I mean, we have 4 that are over a year old right now that haven't been cashed.
Did Alicia
There's a
lose the
total of
check?
6 from 2019, but there's 6 that are over a year old already. We wanted to keep this under 6 months, I remember this
Yeah,
conversation not too long ago. And that, it's Nikki, is that Ken's daughter by any chance?
Daughter-in-law.
Oh, so
Yeah. Steve, if you wanna try contacting them to see if they can get those checks cashed, tell them we're gonna be cleaning out that account, and there might not be nothing left.
I'll do that favor for Patty.
The one for Chris Draper, he is now in the Navy, so he was not going to get that check. But I'm pretty sure it's sitting at his house with his mom and dad.
For who?
Chris Draper, on 7/13/2020, in your unclear transactions. Check number
Okay, I see it,
1794.
yeah.
He's now in the Navy, so he doesn't have access to cash that check, because he left before the checks were handed out.
which one is that?
Chris Draper.
Check number 17184.
$9.
I'll call his parents or whatever number we have for him and see what they wanna do.
Well, the number you have for him is Chris's cell phone number, and he's in basic training, and he's not allowed to answer phones.
Right.
All he can do is write letters. So let us take care of getting a hold of his mom and dad and see what we need to do
They
there.
should still be able to deposit it, all they have to write is for deposit only, and the bank will deposit it into his account.
Right,
Yeah.
I understand that, I just need to make contact with them to find out what they're doing with his mail, is our thing.
And I'm sure, you know, a couple of them small amounts, they probably figured it wasn't worth their thing to cash the check for 12 cents or 68 cents, whatever they are, but they still gotta get,
Clear out of there.
We could probably eliminate an awful lot of those tiny checks if I had access to like a $10 petty cash fund at tax time.
When we get into tax season to where Steve is collecting taxes, he needs a petty cash fund to where he can give this 16 cents and 12 cents back instead of writing a check out.
there is no change.
Yeah.
Yeah, truly.
We should be able to figure something out, just don't forget
I was
about
gonna say,
it.
I have a change jar, I'll just donate it,
I was gonna say too.
Okay,
just to make this easier. I can handle the 80 cents though.
all right.
Yeah, because there's what, 1, 2, 3 of those little ones under a buck.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, one of those that's way overdue, we've had a problem with that vendor for how many years?
Which one's that?
Don Locks.
Donald?
We give him a check and it just seems like it never gets cashed. I think the last time, we ended up voiding that check and then
I think this was that one. wasn't it?
that could be the one that we combined the last two.
Or was, no, this was from last year. We changed, or had keys made and all that good stuff. So it's been over a year.
But I know we canceled one that, and then just put that on the last one we gave, and that could be the one that he never cashed it. I was hoping to see him tonight at the state feed, because they usually come, but he hadn't come in by the time I had to
Oh, if he
leave.
doesn't want it, he can donate it back to the town.
Yeah,
You know, not an issue.
yeah, if he doesn't want to cash the check, then don't send us a bill.
Yeah.
There we go. Tell him that next time I see him.
Anything else, Steve?
How much time you got? I could tell jokes, okay. No, I'm not.
Any questions for Steve? Anybody? Okay, Patty, you are up.
Check 17227 through 17257, including check 17160, which was approved as an avoided check at the last meeting, but it's actually a reissued payroll check. EFTs 2020-47 through 2020-55, total of $28,334.25.
What was laying equipment?
I think that was for ATV.
I believe it was a portable pump. We have a
one of those pumps that's got like a 2.5 inch inlet, 2.5 inch outlet, gas powered on it.
Power Sport battery.
Oh, no, that was a four-wheeler then.
$900 for a battery,
What?
76.
I was gonna say, what?
I got my new glasses.
That's not what I paid.
You want me to hold that for you?
I'll make the motion to accept the report as presented. You can put the right numbers in. Getting good at that.
I'm getting better. Practice.
I'll second
All in favor, say aye.
that.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, purchase orders to
Don't have my name.
I'm sorry.
Let's see what it means.
However you're ready.
Thank you. Can't do it. Think of the same. There was, no CBD notifications on the election update. Is if anybody asks you about mail-in voting and absentee voting in the state of Wisconsin, there is no difference.
We have absentee voting, which that's what they mail. So, that's the difference.
And if you know anybody who wants to be a poll worker in November, send them my way. Please. Okay, now,
Purchase orders.
oh yeah. Purchase order in your pack, there was one submitted for $5,248 from the fire department. Information from Bernie was that goes under here, it's, I'm assuming turnouts for 2 firemen.
The reason I didn't sign that was I wanted to know if you guys were planning on turning it in for COVID,
We are,
because it doesn't qualify.
but it's also not going to be going underneath gear either, it goes under 2% dues.
Okay, well, 2% dues, it's a budgeted item, it doesn't qualify. We went to Wisconsin Towns Association meeting the other night, and the masks that you were even talking about, those are questionable. We
Okay.
have to call the Department of Administration, I think it is, Patty, to see what's gonna be approved on that.
But the
That
gear
stuff.
still comes, that's normal gear that we'd be purchasing anyway,
Right,
so that still would be 2% dues.
okay. Well, I just want you to know that it ain't gonna fly with COVID, so don't
Yeah,
plan on that.
I'm not planning on it.
Okay. That's why I got it, what, Thursday or Friday, whatever it was, and I told Patty just hold it to the meeting so we could discuss it, so you guys knew that,
Yep.
okay, so that I can sign that. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Did you get, or I emailed you back on that I think it should be ladder one, not rescue?
We're not even there yet,
We're not there yet.
and it's not what I wanted to rescue. I'll show you the paper.
Okay. Well, I
So the
didn't
purchase
think we had
order, I
two-
can
I didn't
sign
think we
that
had
for.
2 rescue trucks.
In one of your shorts, I'll show it.
Okay,
We got 3 and 1, correct?
What?
Rescue?
3 is no longer, it's rescue 1, there's no rescue
I think this was
2.
maybe,
The old one was.
I think maybe before the reimbursement might have happened before you sold it though. So when we get down to the roots to recovery thing is when that's gonna come up.
All right.
Which is next? Okay, we're at,
We're done with purchase order, election update.
we're already there with that.
Okay, we're on Marathon County CPC notification.
No notifications.
Okay, now we're on routes recovery grant.
Where'd it go? So the first thing you need to do according to the eligibility and the reimbursement is authorize someone from the town to be the point of contact and the person that submits the reimbursements.
And I'd like to make a motion that be Patty.
I second that motion.
This might be a good one to abstain here.
She already knows. And I told her that I would help her with looking everything over, so, to make sure that it's submittable, because we got kind of an eye-opener when we went up to Wisconsin Towns Association. There was, a lady that was talking about, like I was saying, those breather masks, and I think they were similar to what you are talking about, and they were denied. So I need exact numbers, what they are, the description, and then I'll send it to the Department of Administration and see if they will allow it.
Okay.
Okay?
We have to have a narrative on everything that's submitted,
The reason
so
why.
we'll have to work on that.
Okay.
So,
And you can only do the submission once, so we gotta get it right the first time.
what else was there?
You wanna vote on that?
What are we voting on? Oh, you. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? You are the honorable one.
Thank you.
Some people have all the luck.
Well, they said what will happen is they will be sending her an email, and there's a number that's in there, a code, and she will be the only one to get into that code for us, so one contact person only, so otherwise that turns into a mess. Next.
Next is your eligible reimbursements. So the first page is just a
This one,
summary, yes.
this is the one we're looking at right here.
We were allocated for routes to recovery $32,922. So, hold on. The expenses that are eligible thus far are $8,430.56. The breakdown of those is on the following two sheets. There's cleaning, supplies, legal, and then election expense. The next sheet is broken down for fire department, building its grounds, rescue 1, rescue 3, I think that came up in March, so was that still here? No.
You didn't have rescue 3 in March, we had rescue 1 in March.
Yeah, well, maybe something missing. Labeled.
I have some questions. What's a color duct?
With a what?
A color duct. Because you had purchased from Menards batteries, a color duct, funnel, and measuring cup. Now, the batteries and the funnel and the measuring cup, I understand, but I don't know what the heck a color duct is. That's what we're
It's colored
going.
duct tape.
Duct
maybe?
tape?
Oh, colored duct tape.
Okay,
Take duct tape to, differentiate between pediatrics and adults in the EMS stuff.
I was just wondering what the heck it was. Because that should have been D-U-C-T, and you got duck.
Yeah, that's my fingers, not yours.
And I didn't know what a color duct was. I'm sorry.
Look at those little rubber duckies coming all different colors.
Just a question. What are the PVC block supplies for?
That gear dryer.
How does that qualify under COVID?
I guess it's the dryer gear, and so we increased the amount of times we were gonna have to wash it. Whether it actually fits or not, I don't know, I'm not privileged to that information. We have to work through that.
Okay,
If Patty's the contact person, then
yeah. Well, I just wanna, I Like you said, we need a
But I mean, that's the reason
narrative.
for it is for the dryer, so that
And that's what
instead
the
of like a
PVC
2-day
is.
turnaround, it's like 2-hour turnaround for drying gear.
But that's what the PVC is for?
Yes.
Okay. The connector links, that was a reimbursement to you, Rod, for $4.20. What was that?
Probably stuff that we get someplace other than Menards where we didn't have an account.
What was that?
Part of PVC stuff.
Oh, for the PVC?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be guessing
Okay.
that was. Look, there's like a couple of rubber boots, and I'm gonna guess that's what that is.
Okay,
They kind of changed things in the naming of it.
all right. Then you had a reimbursement for the used rescue kit. Don't we budget for rescue kits?
That I don't know, that may be something that Patty picked up on our bills. I didn't put in as the COVID stuff.
Okay.
It's a safety, it's a kit for going into.
Yeah, I understand what it is, but I just figured that we always budgeted for them, don't we?
We don't, this is not something, we only have one other set, so this isn't something that's, I mean, it's in the budget
Okay,
to purchase it, so it's not,
You don't want that on COVID, is what you're saying.
I mean, if it can fly, then we'll let it fly, but if it doesn't fly, then there's room in the budget. It wasn't purchased just for,
okay. Well, when we were looking through those today, a lot of that is marked C-19, and I'm assuming that means COVID-19, that you wanted to put it under there.
some of this stuff went through Ernie, so
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm asking, so, because we have to make sure that it fits, and if it doesn't fit, we gotta pull it, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the mask and the airway supplies and hand sanitizer and thermometer purchase and goggles and gowns and, oh, I have a question. The $900 for the drug request, don't we budget for that?
We do, but I was under the instruction of my medical director to supply us for 3 months because we may not have been able to get into the hospital to replenish our stuff for 3 months.
Okay, but that is a budgeted item, normally.
Normally, but not for that large amount.
What drugs are,
That's Narcan and aspirin and,
Albuterol and EpiPens,
so that's a 3-month supply?
yes.
We go through that much?
I had to make sure I had us covered, because if we did go through it and I couldn't get it, I have nothing to supply our town people with if we get called to a certain type of call.
It lasts longer than 3 months, so.
They don't expire
They
every
don't
3 months.
expire.
It's just, I was under the advice to stock us for 3 months, because when the clinic shut down, the hospital shut down, and I couldn't get in to get stuff.
so what it amounted to was anything that you were planning on ordering within the next 3 months, order it now.
Correct. Otherwise, I may not get it.
Yeah. So now we just might not have to order it for a while.
Right.
It's not gonna expire.
But hoping that we don't go through that stuff to begin. Correct.
True, yes. But if we do, I have it.
Kidding.
And some of this stuff does expire in that, so that was working within some of that too. The stuff is going to expire.
That's on the other page. We got that covered. You guys have a list of the stuff you want to purchase? Because I haven't received anything.
Well, I gave Ernie, which it didn't get put in the list of purchase orders, but temperature is now a required vital for all of our EMTs.
Okay, we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that, yeah.
And you wanted a total of 10, so
10,
you've got
correct.
7 more, correct? You got 3.
No, I need a total of 10 more.
Okay, because I think you said last time you have 10 on EMS.
Correct, and we already have 2, 3, and they're gonna stay where they are. We can't pull those out of services to where they are, so
Okay.
I need to supply our EMTs.
So you need 10 thermometers.
Correct.
Okay, what else you need?
I I'm getting to the point where I have to start buying new jump bags, because I'm out of jump bags for the people that we're hiring.
But that's not part of COVID.
That's not part of COVID, though.
No, we're looking for COVID.
I don't know about either, I'm sure.
We're gonna have to basically give it Patty and look and see what's
Yeah.
eligible. I mean, if it's not eligible, then.
Okay.
Because we should, the only other question on the eligible reimbursements was the airway supplies.
As in the oral airways,
Yeah,
You'd have to look at this.
Oh, that's
and tell
right,
me
the
what-
mask and the airways, there was $503.40, and there was a mask on there, and then all those airway supplies.
yep, the airways are, if we get somebody who has a compromised airway, we have got to be able to maintain their airway. And our advanced airways, the KLTs and comm tubes are the way that we do that.
And that is COVID-19 related.
Correct, because if we get somebody who is COVID positive at home and having issues breathing, we have got to maintain their airway.
Okay, that's what we need.
How would you know that unless they voluntarily tell you?
I don't know if they're COVID positive.
But if they still have problems with their airway, you're still
I
gonna
s-
get
I
treated.
still have
It's not
fixed
gonna
airway
be
no matter what.
differentiating between.
Would we normally have that in budget? That's the question.
Yeah, but not
Okay.
to that amount that I had to get.
I would think that could be a valid one,
Then you can
because they're
only-
saying with COVID, you have increased airway issues, right? So it would make sense to
Correct.
stock up on extra of those, knowing that.
The only eligibility is what they've not budgeted for.
That's right, so if they budgeted for
Going
it,
out because somebody said that,
Yeah, but if you budget for 2 of them, you need to buy 10 of them, then.
then 8 of them are,
8 are
Eligible.
Then if you can,
that's what I said.
Okay.
Gotcha.
get with Patty and figure out how many you would normally, okay?
the rescue 3 says it's a rescue seat belt,
Yes.
so you did buy it just not for that vehicle.
It wasn't for 3, it was for 1. The rescue 1.
How does that one fit under COVID?
This is a seatbelt that we purchased in case that, I mean, at the time, you have to remember what we were dealing with and the information that we were getting. We were getting information that possibly the ambulance services would be becoming overwhelmed and we may have to transport our own people.
Okay,
And with that, we would have to be able to strap them into the back. So there's a bench seat there, so we got 3 seatbelts so that you could safely put them on the
Okay.
seat. And that would be a last case scenario, that's not a run of, that'd be
Right.
a mass casualty type of situation.
anybody else have questions on those?
So if you needed to, transport for whatever, you can legally do that?
Right now with the COVID pandemic, if Marshfield Ambulance, Stratford, Spencer, anybody we would call on our Mavis card is overwhelmed, yes, the state grants us permission to transport, but I have to exhaust all of my avenues to get an ambulance up here. And once that's all exhausted, then yes, we can put them into transport, even though we are considered non-transport. But
In
because
an
of the
emergency
pandemic,
situation?
well, in the pandemic,
Yeah.
yes, we can, but I have to exhaust all my other ambulance options first.
Okay.
The town has that ruling on record.
Well, that'd be the state.
The DHS has put it up there.
But it would have to be so that you, I mean, obviously tonight, you guys didn't know that that ruling was in effect.
No, but if that's under the DHS,
It's
that's
under
a law.
DHS.
Right.
I mean, that,
I personally think the town should have, a written copy so that you, CYA,
mhm.
You can go out on the DHS website and look it up, it's out there for everybody and anybody to see. Nothing is ever hidden.
I'll tell you what, under this pandemic, there's a lot of rules that are gonna be broken.
There are. They have lax stuff on a lot of
And
stuff.
they change.
And they change every day. So, I mean, there's pretty much the way it is. Kind of go with the flow and hope it don't happen. All right, what else we got there, Patty? Okay, then we want what we've got figured already. What do you got for that list? I got a price for 2 new doors.
You're talking the,
Well, we're beyond this one now, I think, because they said nobody has any questions, right? We're beyond these. Anybody? Okay. You need a motion to approve that? No, I don't think so. So then from that point, we're going to the next step in roads for recovery, right? Okay. I got a price for that door, for clear glass to replace that, and that front door. And it's mainly for election. Patty would like to change the flow and get them to come in this door. The election workers work up here and follow through and then go out the back door. It gives us an opportunity to also get that front door fixed. Also, and that's about, was it, Patty? 4,500?
4,500.
And that's through Marshfield Glass. And
Which
then
would also
also,
require, if approved, a 50% down.
right, we also will have to approve that.
So then you have to move all that stuff up here.
We have spackle and paint.
I know, but you just saw it all there.
Well, there's election tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if we can move
Yes.
them up here, and they don't have to cross over at all, because they do.
The issue is you cannot maintain social distancing during the election when people are coming in that door and then coming around and making a loop and they walk past the exit and they go back that way. We've also got the registrations down there, and that's not 6 feet
The
between.
flow is not right.
The flow is a bottleneck.
Mhm.
If they can come in this door and exit that door, the exit is still available because you have to put the push bar exit so it can be locked from the outside, which is gonna confuse people. It's gonna take some education because they're used
And
to coming in that
signs.
front door. But you put signs and you put, if this is a glass door and it's open, then you can have somebody there as a greeter directing them into that door. And that way they come in, like she said, they do everything up here, they go to the voting booths. The handicap machine will be back there, the election machine counter is back there, and then they go straight out the door and you can't get back in that door.
That makes sense.
Okay, next item on the list is our, Patty, what is that machine called?
So the Automark,
There you go.
which is the handicap machine for the election system, is, number one, it's gonna be outdated, and we're not gonna be allowed to use it anymore. To replace it, it's gonna be $3,500 to $4,000. The director of the town association says that it is eligible for COVID, because number one, it's not budgeted this year. Next year, we would be forced to budget for it. And at this point, it would be an order through the county would order it. ES&S would invoice individual townships, but they have not gotten a confirmation from DOA. They've got everything in line, except they're waiting for that before they pull the trigger on making the order. We have to have it one way or the other, and if it's eligible under COVID, it saves the town $4,000. It's gotta be done
Either
by
way,
2022.
either way, we're gonna be spending either this money or budget for it next year. And that will-
So if we get it now, we may be able to get the money back from COVID.
Right.
Yes.
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay, and next item.
Next was the internet and networking.
Okay.
We gotta get a new router for the town hall and then possibly up the service because I couldn't even get the printer to talk to the computer before. And we're estimating that about 1,500 because if there is an increase in the service fee, monthly service fee, we can submit that as a reimbursement through the end of the Roots to Recover.
And they figure that's gonna last for approximately another year.
Not the reimbursement,
No,
the COVID restrictions.
right.
But we can at least get it reimbursed almost through the end of this year.
And the next item,
So, you need a router for down here?
yeah. Because we're looking out at also 10 computers, laptops, for the board and for the plan commission, in order for us to be able to do Zoom meetings, because we have had requests for people to be able to, they don't want to come to the meetings, but they like to be on Zoom. or whatever, or team, or whichever one we pick from that. So if they end up shutting everything down again, people do want to still come to the meetings, and I think that's a way to do it. They can do the plan commission meeting, and they can do town board meetings that way.
Did you find out if the computers will be covered through this?
Yep, they will be.
So you wanna buy a computer for every board member?
Yeah. And the commission members.
It's an iPad, right?
No, it'll be a computer. The
Okay.
iPads, I got the prices on them, but then they wanted you to actually buy a phone service to go with them. Or they had, the other company said, well, we'll have to order, special order them, and
So you're
so,
actually looking at a small
Laptop.
laptop, okay.
yeah,
The iPads tend to be more expensive anyways if you look at them.
yeah, yeah.
So you just need a better router than the one that's here.
We don't have a router in here.
That one doesn't work.
That one don't work at all, hasn't for a
No, I was
long
gonna say, I
time.
thought there was one back there.
Yeah, that got,
All
I mean,
right,
I would definitely recommend if you're going to buy a router to spend a little extra and buy a good one.
We're gonna get a Nighthawk.
It makes a huge difference.
Mhm.
I mean, huge.
I got one at home, and mine's got about 8 arms on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got a question, do we really want to spend money on these computers, these laptops? Because, I mean, suppose none of this happens, that everything shuts down again, and, I mean, this thing, if you buy a new one, I can tell you, it's not gonna get much use. And I don't know what kind of money we're talking, I mean, I just, it may not be much, you can buy laptops for very little if you buy laptops.
Well, you could tell them you can buy the cheapest ones possible, and you're talking probably under $500 a piece.
And you get a real good one for $700-800 probably.
No, mine would cost about 15. but-
Yeah, I think the last one I bought was a little over 2.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you probably got a real.
I got a surface book, I paid $2,500
Yeah.
for it, Michael, so.
But
You still wanna have something halfway decent that can handle at least being able to do your meetings, because if they do a shutdown, we could have a problem again. We do have people in the township that are afraid to come to the meetings that would like to.
I don't, but you know, sometimes in a situation like this, we all sacrifice. I mean, you don't go to a meeting for a while, and trust the people you have elected, hopefully to do the job they're supposed to do, and, I mean, I'm just a little, I just hate to see money spent on a laptop for me that I'm never gonna use, and, I mean, it's just me. I mean,
Well, and I'm fine with purchasing them, I just maybe the number that we need to purchase wouldn't have to be as many. Like, I have my own, I'm fine with using, I don't feel the need for you to spend money on one for me, you know, if that's,
Are you willing for okay, you use your personal computer for township?
why not?
Are you comfortable with if somebody has an open records request, them coming and getting it?
I don't do anything on it.
I know, I'm just saying.
I mean, I really don't do anything on
Yeah,
it.
I don't either.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm fine, I'm trying to find ways to, yeah, maybe cut that a little bit. Now, if it's for sure all gonna get covered under this COVID thing, and we get reimbursed for it, then.
Which we would, that was one way of doing it. They said actually, at the Wisconsin Town Association meeting, they said people were putting in for touchless sinks in bathrooms, touchless toilets to flush. We were looking at accommodating our residents for doing this. Because number one is, like Larry Seaper, that's one of the reasons he don't come. I talked to Butch Ortell, he said he'd like to come to the meetings, and it would work out good for him on Zoom. So there's two right there. Dorothy is not comfortable with me. Lori?
I just have a question. If these are for township residents, are they gonna come check these out and then return
No, they're not
them?
for the residents, they're for the town board and plan commission to be able to do this. We're not giving them to the residents.
They would have to log in.
But then-
They would have to log in from their home.
No, I
Right.
get it.
I will say, the meeting would be available for any of the residents to view via Zoom.
on their own.
Right.
On
On their
own.
own.
On their own computer, but we
Okay,
would be
I-
able to do it.
The only reason I asked is because I don't know everybody on all the committees, and you're naming town residents that would come and get this, and it's like,
No, they're not coming to get them, they would want to view our meetings and participate, which they can participate that way also.
So if things were to get all shut down again, would we not be able to hold regular in-person meetings, or would we still have the option to come in person, and then people who wanted to do via Zoom, it would be kind of both, set up for
Right.
both, or?
Yep.
Then, if that's the case, though, don't you need something to be, I mean, because you can't have like 5 computers set up in the front.
Yeah, you could. Why couldn't you?
because if you don't have everybody muted except for the one person talking, you get back feed, and it's really annoying, and it's really hard to follow.
So for your building, or for your meeting, you need, I believe it's a Mongo pad they call refer to it as?
I think so, it's like a huge TV screen with a camera that's pointing at you guys, that we can see on our computer.
And then it's one mic instead
Right.
of.
But with the thought of you can't do this and everybody's at home, that's why you would need individual computers if everybody's at home, you know, at the time.
Right.
But if they close down again, like they did, town government business is
We're
emergent,
exempt.
so it needs to be taken care of. You can't not have a
Right.
town board meeting.
But we could have that from our homes at that time.
Right, and some of our committee members may have high risk or other issues where it would be appropriate to have it from home versus in person.
I guess I just can't see, I mean, it would be 10 computers if, for, if you wanted everyone on the planning commission and us to,
And everybody's going to have the internet at their homes in order to work this, correct?
Either that or go to the library or.
The library was closed too, you know, if something shuts down, the library's gonna be
Right.
closed too.
I'm gonna be forced to learn something I was trying to stay away from.
We'll give lessons to you, Gary. It's not hard.
Probably not.
No, it
I've
isn't.
seen people do it, I think I can.
I see your wife's probably a pro at it by now.
Yeah, she knows.
Yeah. If you hit this button.
I'd spend more
That's all you
time.
can
I'd
just
spend
get
more
one of your
time-
kids or grandkids to teach you all. That's
Yeah,
what I
there
do.
you go.
I don't know.
My
You've been
4-year-old
on
could
Zoom.
probably show.
You have, haven't you, Gary?
Yeah, I got on that one
That's
with the
Team.
bridge.
Yeah, that one was under Team. Zoom was a little bit different.
Well, it took me a while, and I finally got on.
Yeah, there's the Cisco WebEx, there's a few different ones you can choose from. I think Zoom is,
Now, another question, suppose this, virus, goes away, and we don't have any more COVID issues 6 months from now, and we're gonna have every meeting where everybody can get on Zoom if you just don't feel like driving here, or,
Yeah,
I mean, but all of it, where are we
I
going?
mean, we could do it that way.
the county does it that way, don't they?
County has theirs on Zoom.
Just hope it's your accessibility.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just one of these old dogs who can't learn new tricks, you know?
So I got about me, I'm sitting right here.
Give yourself more credit.
Plan commission, what's your thoughts?
Well, I've got one commissioner that has no internet.
But he could come down here and say,
But if we approve the internet and networking, you'll have it here.
Right.
I mean, you know, but.
And if nobody else is here, then you'd be here alone using, you know.
Pardon?
If nobody else is here, because we're all doing it via Zoom, then he
He'd
could
be by
sit
himself
here by
anyway.
himself, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I thinking, okay, well, you still had town board meetings during COVID. One of
Well, I
them-
got news for you, it's still during COVID.
Well, right, but I mean, though, you still got together, you kept the numbers down. You know, essential ones met, non-essential didn't. And I guess we got through it with all of it. I think personally, it's a lot of money. I mean, 4 of us have our own computers already. mean, you know, sometimes we get
Well,
the
what if
emails,
we-
sometimes we don't.
What if we did 5?
I was thinking, and yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you know, just get 5, and if the plan commission needs to use them, they can use them, and if we need to use them, you know, we can use them.
A different,
I can't see,
Programs,
even if it's,
what's that?
a different program, something like that.
even if
No, it all
it's
gets
free money,
Or
and,
something.
you know,
I could live with 5. I'd have to swallow it, but I could live with 5.
Swallow hard.
10 would be hard for me to swallow, that's all.
Okay.
So if you went this route, you bought the computers, is that guaranteed that you're gonna start doing it that way? To allow?
I would. I wouldn't have a problem with it. You put the Zoom on it and we could sit here and do
Right,
it to
right.
where.
I mean, I know I personally would still need to come here. My kids are, I'm not a good disciplinarian, they're wild. And for me to be in a meeting at home with them, they'd never sit as well as
We
he
could
is.
have a meeting here, but if we.
Right, but-
Other people who wanna
Well, like I
tune
said,
in, wherever we tune in, I wouldn't have any idea how to do this.
Mhm.
they don't.
that the instruct,
They don't, no.
Shame on you.
I tried, I see it.
You put it right on the
Sometimes I screw it
agenda
up in my
on
lungs, but-
what to log in on, you know, it'd be an invitation type thing, so.
Is that how Marshfield does it?
Marshall, yeah. And I think that's how the county does it, am I correct, Patty?
Well, you can log in on the computer, and it's also, you can use they give you a VoIP
Right,
number that they
yeah.
can call in. So Dennis could always call in if he didn't have any.
Does he have a cell phone? No?
Or a house phone, just any phone.
Well, I mean,
I've got
some-
the house phone.
Some
you can
people
call
are
in.
not gonna.
Okay.
Before I forget though, the only other thing that I wanna add to the list is a folder, unless somebody would like to help me fold ballots come November.
This is when you plug in and it does it for you, not just a folder, like, you know.
Not like a manila folder.
Right.
So yes, you can have that.
So we figured 5 computers, right?
I think 5 makes more sense.
Okay. And then a folder, what is the price on that, Patty?
Anywhere from,
Isn't it like 1,500 or something?
was up to 1,000, depending on what I hear back from the printer, because the ballots are a heavier weight paper. Most folders only take 20-pound test, which is just a regular sheet of paper.
So roughly 1,000?
Yep.
What else do we have on that list? Anything?
Computers, folder, internet, and networking, the doors, the handicap machine, and thermometers. How much are thermometers?
$60 a piece?
67, wait a minute, 67.99.
Can you order more stamps because of people with the absentee ballots with the COVID?
Yes, and it is on the list that I gave to the board, but I'm holding off on that,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
only because there's other funding and there's other ways, and I wanna make sure that everybody gets what they want on a route to recovery before I put in all that.
So we can use that for the newsletter too?
No.
No, it's
You
budgeted.
could use the portion that you dedicate to COVID, whatever expense that is, but
No,
you
I
can't.
mean, to use that machine.
Yes.
We mail our own newsletters now, right?
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
Have you been in folding any of them?
no.
Okay,
But
then.
I was thinking that, I
If you
thought the
would-
last time they
If you would like
did.
to use that machine for folding newsletters, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, we'll let you do it, Gary. There was,
Forget I opened my mouth.
The absentee between February and April, the numbers went from 13 to 420. That means I fold the ballot, I fold the instructions, I label twice and stamp each envelope, and then put it on there, and then, before I got the printer, hand wrote the address on all of them.
I want to hear your fingers, sir.
No wonder I can't type, right?
Can you get
So
a lot
all
of requests
this-
for November already, or is that too early for November?
I
gotten a
am
letter
at 300 for November.
already.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How many you got for this one?
And it's 300 because they're all calendar years. And the state is sending out a letter to anyone without an absentee ballot request on file next month.
Lori,
Yes.
did you apply for a DHS grant? It's $1,240.
I just applied for the one that we talked about at the last
Okay.
meeting.
I got the information here, the kid that came through with it from Wisconsin Towns Association. And this one is $1,240 per EMS unit if incurred expenditures for COVID-19 and unreimbursed by other federal funds. Okay?
I think that's that one I was talking about before, and then the finance committee decided that's
The
not what we wanted.
application process will be open in September.
Oh, can you forward that to me?
Sure.
Thank you. Forward that to me and I'll take care of that one.
This is on here, the deadline for the first round has passed. Second round application process will be open early September for an additional $1,240 per EMS unit.
Okay. Yeah, just forward that to the, to my email and I'll pick it up and I'll take care of it.
Okay. And then you'll have to put it through Patty so we don't double dip on anything.
Yep.
But that was at Wisconsin Towns Association too.
Okay.
What else we got?
The only other thing that we talked about putting under this as a possibility was a Dropbox for the absentee ballots in the office. Somehow, instead of just the mailbox out here, because if you look at it from a legal standpoint, county's going to put a ballot in a mailbox because they don't trust the mail is illegal. And they don't trust the mailbox up by the office, but putting a Dropbox in somewhere in the front of the office, in that vestibule, whether it falls into a container, I don't know who to call, I don't know who to do that.
Hank Zimmerman would do that, wouldn't he?
Dave, would that fall under something Hank would know how to do? Put a Dropbox?
Is that after he places the windows?
Well, I did talk to him,
Vote on that one.
and he's supposed to have it done by the end of August. Because I talked to him the other day and called him and asked him when he was planning on doing this, and I got the, well, you know what, the COVID thing. And I said, yeah, okay, I just want a date. He said by the end of August.
Well,
he'll have
nobody's
this
up there
switched.
in that building, you won't get COVID.
So, end of August, he'll have those done. So, what about Dropbox? I don't have no idea what
Yeah,
that
I
would
think that
cost.
makes sense. I mean, the
So
whole
you
thing
would
with the
slap would
absentee
get
ballots.
outside the building and then we'd go in and then we'd be down low so people
Right,
could
so
see
you
it.
can't get your
Right.
fingers
So
in
it'd
it?
be locked, right?
Yeah.
Because the whole thing with absentee voting is people are afraid that it's not getting counted or not showing up or not, whatever, so.
Exactly. That would be the only other thing, and like I said, I have no idea what that would cost.
Well, we'll get a hold of somebody and get a price and see what that comes to.
I can't see that people.
Wisconsin Glass might even have something that works because any bank has got them.
Right.
Any place you drop off keys
Yeah,
or,
that's very true.
Yeah, your car dealerships, you
yeah,
know, a lot of them, they got
yeah.
drop your car off and got a box, you
Mhm.
throw your keys in.
Okay, we'll look at that one then. So what I need is motion to approve 50% of the door cost, so they can order the doors. And that's just a little under 4,500, so they're requesting 50% down to get them ordered.
2,500 for the
So
door.
2750
That's
now.
two, yeah, that's for both the doors, to replace them. Full glass, covering up that crap in the front. It'll all be covered with aluminum.
So then they'd be handicapped too, or
Yeah,
not?
oh yes, yeah, handicap, commercial, they have to be, otherwise. you
Well, I was
can't-
figuring that, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to ask the question.
Yeah, because I had asked him about just replacing the door here, and he said, replace the whole frame. He says, because otherwise what'll happen, in 2 years, you'll holler at me because the frame is rusting out. So, frame it off.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. What else do we have under that one, Patty?
That's all my list.
Oh, that's it?
That's,
We're done with it now?
well, yeah, we're done with it now.
Okay. Budget review. Did anybody have any questions about the budget? You got it last month. We didn't go through anything. Anybody? Okay. Culvert and driveway permit. Here it is. Instead of the specifications, Gary, could we put right on the permit as per our ordinance? Would that work?
Probably, you've got it.
Just a thought.
Because like I said, half that stuff you send,
Mhm.
that doesn't even apply to us.
Yeah.
And of course, in diagrams, figures 3 and 4, none of that stuff ever came.
But I think if we put on our permit here, as per township
Right,
ordinances,
and
that should cover
it's 261.
the ordinance.
The ordinance.
You got that, Patty? Ordinance number 261.
You can double
Does it
check.
have a
But
dash
I
or
think
a
that's
B?
it, culverts and driveways,
Okay.
261, I'm pretty sure.
So we do have a minimum diameter of culverts, correct?
Well, yes and no. They like to have at least 15, but there's areas like where Kenny's gotta replace that one, you can't, it's up at the top of the hill, and
Mhm.
Pat and I, we looked it all over and figured that, a 12 inch would be fine. Yeah, I know last year I had somebody wanted to put in a couple 6 inches, and you don't wanna go that small, cause you may get branches and stuff caught in there, and then you're gonna have a real problem. But, yeah, 15, they used to tell everyone 18, well, and that's not even written anywhere. But basically, you gotta see how deep the ditches are and go from there.
But this permit that you guys are looking at right now, this is what you want? Okay.
So what do you want to make the minimum, Gary, 15?
Well, it probably should be 15, but sometimes you can't, so. And I believe it says it in the ordinances, the sizes and that, but it leaves room for exceptions in there.
Dave, did you go around and look at most of them?
We did.
Yeah, you
Most of them were-
determined at that point what size should go in, if it's at the top of the hill, bottom of the hill, what length they wanted.
So we have a minimum of 24 feet for residential, for length.
And most of them were 18s.
Is it 24 or 20?
24.
24.
What did you do, put in a 20?
No, I just thought it was 20, I just thought it was a standard length.
So even with this permit, somebody still needs to go around whether.
Oh, yeah, they need to,
This
that'd be
isn't
Gary's
just-
job or your job, probably Gary's job to go and actually look and give them a permit.
Is this for new,
If somebody needs a driveway
new driveways that
or
that
culvert.
require a culvert? Okay, not just to replace a culvert, just a new
What
driveway.
would it be to replace?
It should be for replacement also.
I would think so.
I think that's what it said on,
I agree. This is gonna be-
in that one spot in the emails.
Doesn't say on here, does it?
And this isn't that there's a fee for this and there's nothing
No,
else, it's just.
no. It's just,
More or less
instead
a
of,
paper trail.
right, instead of the supervisor going over there and saying, yeah, you can do this. Now we got
Yeah,
paper that says.
they just
yeah,
want
yeah,
it so that they got a paper.
yeah.
At the top, it says, "It's hereby request permission to construct a driveway as described below." Maybe should be say construct or replace, if you're going to include replacement in there also.
I got a couple of farm driveways that I should replace.
Okay.
We better do it quickly.
Permit to
Got
install
tonight.
access driveway.
Before we decide on the permit.
So So hereby request permission to construct or replace, correct? That's the only correction on there? And then put on the bottom, as per ordinance, would you say 261?
So that if someone right now in the township wants, after we do this, wants to have a culvert replaced, they need to call us to get a permit? They call us to get a permit?
We could, Jared, you could put this online so that they fill it out and they're not authorized.
They're gonna put it so they can do it online.
Mm-hmm.
See, before they just call,
And call Gary and say, hey, I need to come over and look at this,
Yeah,
I wanna put
highway
a
or-
driveway in, okay?
and then
You
I go over and,
say, yeah,
yeah, you know, go with,
this
you know,
size.
the
and-
length and the size.
Oh, well, the usual deal is somebody wants to replace a culvert. Maybe when I was younger, I dug it out and replaced it, but now I'm gonna call Randall, okay, and say, I need you to come over here and replace the culvert. So, I need to get the permit filled out online and hand it to Brandon and say, here you go, you gotta.
You don't have to give it to Frank,
No,
you
you
just
don't have
need
to
it
give
for
it to Brad.
yourself.
I just, okay.
Just get the permit so you got it.
All right.
And,
So that the
so we have,
specifications for the.
so we have a
culverts-
record of it. That's what they want the,
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
you know, the town to have a record.
In the original one we looked at, it stated something about off the property line, so many feet off the property line. Is that something that,
As per our ordinance, I think, is in there.
I don't think that's in the ordinance.
Okay, this one says minimum of 10 feet from the property line.
Well, yeah, that's, I think I brought that up. I don't think that's in our ordinance.
Okay,
I think that's what Pat told me. And I was just gonna confirm it with Dave. You know, they don't want it
busy.
so that if you're plowing your driveway, you're not pushing it on the neighbors. And, well, you see, yeah, in the newspaper and that, where they have problems all the time, people pushing snow on someone else's property.
Mhm.
And I can't imagine where most people, you know, because you're gonna build a house, you're not gonna put your driveway, you know, close to the property line.
Mhm.
So do you need a motion for this? You need a motion for
A
this?
motion to approve the permit.
I would so move.
With
With
the-
the language that was added.
And we need a second.
a second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right,
So with some of the stuff that we're doing like this, is that something you can slide in the newsletter or not? Just that, part of the problem with government is they can make all the rules, but not that it's necessarily our job to educate the people, but if there's just some subtle things throughout the year, newsletters are probably FYI, these are some new things that are.
what did didn't we put that in? Wasn't there something last year that we put in there? I can't remember. New contract for the pavilion, what was the other thing? I know we just put a clip in there about it. There was something else. I can add it and say, you know, you're looking
You
to
can add
replace that.
Gary's report.
That's not in Gary's report, I already got his. I can add it to it if you want me to.
Dave, is that what it was, always 10 feet from the property line?
I believe so.
I think that's what Pat said they always tell everyone, but like I said, I can't imagine anyone putting a, you know, a driveway that close to the property line, usually your house isn't gonna be, you know, more centered or whatever.
Okay, next item. Approve or disapprove the Culp CSM. You got your paperwork on that one?
So this is the one that was reviewed by you and now approved.
The plan commission, we didn't like the terminology, the outlot, because that can be a real stickler. We got one other one in the township, and you cannot build on outlot. And the driveway went between the property, if you look at your map.
All right, you guys, which one of you wants to explain this to us?
Okay, do you have a map too?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is lot 2 there,
Mhm.
there's,
What is the change on lot 2? Are you adding that drive, the 66 feet for the driveway in there, or the road, future road?
we would we'd like to square that property up straight out to the road to E.
Okay.
And we have someone that wants to buy that, but now
Lot
it's
2?
lot 2, but we were hoping to sell it to this people with all the chickens. You know what I'm talking about?
Right?
But they want to buy now the part out by the road in the
Of lot
near
one.
future of lot 2.
Well, what they're calling outlot, right?
Yeah, what they're calling outlot.
Yeah.
They want to buy that in the future.
Okay, but with it being an outlot, it's not buildable.
That's right.
Okay,
Outlot 1?
yeah. There's only one
Only
outlot.
one outlet.
Yeah.
Outlot and a lot.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to sell lot 4, 3, and the back part of 2.
Wait a minute, I don't have that.
No, all we're looking at is 1 and 2
I only see
here.
outlot 1 and lot 2.
Oh,
That's
I don't know
all,
if I
that's
can-
all that's on the
can I show you
CSR.
this?
Yeah, that'd be great. So you want, oh, I see.
That's what their lot 2 is, right? Includes 3 and 4.
Okay, well, this road, this is what you're adding into lot 2, am I correct? The road. Right?
That's already in lot 2.
Okay, so then we're changing this to here, you're putting a line through here, so you got the outlot here.
Yeah,
And then the change will be taking this off of lot 2.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Because you want to
combining,
sell these two.
Well,
selling
those
lot-
we don't care.
Yeah.
This is on our CSM right
yeah.
here.
So there is no road then between the outlot and the property that they're,
Yes, there is.
Driveway.
Yes, there is, because right here is where they're proposing that for possible future
where's
road.
that driveway going to?
To the end of the property, obviously.
We have no plan for that driveway.
No, but you have a proposed future road.
That's all the city wanted that, I guess, that's nothing of ours. We don't really care about that at all.
Okay, so
Okay,
there is no road there.
66.
There's no road there, no.
No, there is no road there at this point.
It's field, it's bean field.
Right,
That's a driveway into the
but it's
field.
proposed.
There is a driveway coming off of E.
Right, goes back to the field.
Okay, now with this one being proposed as outlot 1, with that being non-buildable, what is the purpose of making an outlot? Do you have one? Otherwise, if they ever want to build on there,
Well,
they can't. They would have to go back to the county.
but this person here would like to buy this.
And then include it into this
Yeah.
section.
Right, and it would just be part of their little
But then they-
farm.
We have a promise with them.
But then they still have to go back to the county,
Correct.
okay, with this
Yeah, I
being
think they would
listed.
understand that.
We'll explain that to them, I guess. Make sure that's up front.
Yeah, because you don't want to approve that, and then that terminology is there, and their hands are tied with an outlot that nothing can ever be built on.
And I have a question, the piece of property that has the
We understand.
culvert and the driveway on now, is that gonna go with the piece of property that's labeled as an outlot? So the piece of land behind the Martin house would either be landlocked or have to be sold with the
They
rest?
bought that.
The piece of property behind the Martin house, they own?
Yeah.
Well, that's
see, they
my
own
thought, because.
22 acres or
20
something,
something
that's what he
acres.
said
Yeah,
last
so-
week.
Label them as an outlot.
Right, couldn't that be annexed to it?
Money.
It really belongs with that property in the future. We hope
Because it
so.
would kind of square
Okay,
that.
so,
I said, so there's not a landlocked piece of land
No.
down there that,
Right.
I don't think so, no.
okay.
You wanna see the paper here?
because the road will not exist. That road just.
Right.
That road will never exist, no.
Right.
So what about
The Martin house is there, and
the
they
road
own
to
the
the
whole.
south reserved for possible that was cutting north of lot 3, but actually cut between lot 4? And even on this, just south of your lot 2, there's a stretch in there that really doesn't have, I've got an old map from 2017, whether that's good or not, when this initially came through. And I think when this initially came through to us too, it said that it wasn't actually a certified one because they were all over 10 acres. So
Did
did
you guys-
something change that this is actually, is there a certified map for this? That this is actually legit and filed with the county, or is this all proposals?
No, it's legit.
This one. This is what they're looking for us to approve at this time. This is a certified
Because
survey map.
they did come with certified maps
Now,
a
my
year ago.
question again, did you guys request an outlot for this piece of property?
Who named it outlot?
Yeah. I
Tim
mean,
Real.
That's a very certain area.
And I'm asked reason why, because like I said, my suggestion to you is to take this back to Tim Freeland and get that titled differently,
Square
because
away right from the get-go.
Yep.
How would you like it, Turbin? How would you like it?
I wanna say lot one.
Yep.
Outlot stinks. The terminology on it is terrible because it has created a lot of problems.
It's very binding.
Do you
Yes.
want that lot buildable or non-buildable, or what's best for you?
We just don't, I don't think Debbie wants the term. We got another one in the township.
Yeah,
listed
that's a
as
big
outlot,
problem. It's a
and
problem.
The
And
guy can't build.
that's why I'm asking, did you guys specify that you wanted an outlot there?
He probably did that just because it's what it ends up being if it's left over.
Not really.
No, it's just,
But it's over 2
it's
acres.
an additional.
This can be changed
Right.
a lot, and it's
Okay, so,
it's over 2 acres, okay, so, which is what we need a minimum in the township to build on.
Oh.
And as it stands right now, if it's labeled outlot, whoever buys this can never build on it unless,
They go
so
through
even if
and
it's
it,
like annexed to that property beside it?
but then they have to turn around and pay to get that all removed. That's what I'm saying, we're trying to save you some money here, or whoever ends up buying the property.
If they annex, just put it through that they're going to annex it onto their property rather than as an outlet.
So
They haven't sold it yet.
It's not sold, so
But I
anything
think
can fall
you
through,
can,
but
I
it,
think you can just list that as a lot.
Right.
Take that outlot terminology off of there.
Just leave it as lot one.
Just, yeah, just leave it as lot one instead of outlot.
Yeah, because otherwise this is gonna get costly for somebody. Am I
Okay.
correct, Dave?
I believe so.
So just call it a lot, forget the outlot business.
Right, so tell Tim Breland to get
just
it
get
together.
Freeland and talk to him, you should go take care of
We
it.
need a revised CSM.
Yeah, he'll have to do a
That says-
revised
But I
CSM.
see
You
that
can have
current
that.
one.
Yeah,
no, do we have to bring it back through the
yes, you
meeting
do.
again then?
Yes, you do.
See, here, this is lot one here, and this is lot one on my paper. I'm kind of confused on that. but-
Right, I'll change the
Well,
numbers.
yeah,
Numbers is
I mean,
fine.
there's,
You don't care if it's lot two or whatever.
there's
I
two
don't care if
alt
it's
lot
lot
ones on
five.
here too, when I first looked at it, it's like, oh, wait a minute. You got one
Okay, so
here
you
and
want,
one over
forget
here.
the word out and just put lot there and you're good.
Is there a reason, Dave, that they would have that as an outlot? Do you know?
I have, you'd have to ask your surveyor that,
Okay,
Why he
Right.
uses that terminology.
right?
Yeah, because we're
Because
sitting with
the
one right now,
county
guy bought
doesn't like
22
that
acres and it's
terminology.
listed as an outlot.
He should know.
Nothing with it.
Tim
I
should
mean,
know.
absolutely
Okay.
It's the second
nothing.
one he's
And
done.
the county will
Right.
not do
Right,
anything
they're
for
right,
him.
Do you guys have a copy of the CSM?
I just gave him one.
So you have one now? It says right on there, the outlot restrictions.
okay.
I just,
Would you like us to bring this back before we go ahead and sell this? Lot two.
oh, you have to.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And,
But
but,
how fast can it go? Because we have a fellow waiting on the other lots.
Well, he'll have to wait till it's done.
Yeah.
Because, we have to have another plan commission meeting, which will be the end of this month.
well,
Tell Tim to get it together and get
So
that.
then in 2 weeks or so, you have
Yeah.
another meeting.
And then a month from, well, second Monday of September, we'll have another board meeting, and then it would go to the county,
Okay.
however long it
Tim
takes
needs to get
them.
it to the plan commission by the end of our
This month.
meeting at the end of August.
Yeah.
If it wants to be on our agenda, and then,
So,
so
it's just gonna
it
save
can
somebody
get back
a
to
lot
the
of money by
plant, to
doing
the
this.
town board.
Take a little time, but it'll be the right way to do it.
And that's my thought.
Yeah. No, we want to do it right.
Right. Well, I think there's some confusion, and I just,
Do you have 2 or 3 separate owners that want to buy that land, or just one owner that?
One owner wants to buy it all,
He wants to buy all the lots?
except for that little corner, because we promised these people they can have first chance.
Yeah.
Who's looking at it?
Keegan, one of the Hastrider Industries down there.
I don't know who that is.
He wishes he had an 80-acre farm to live on, but he's gonna do with 30,
Mm,
33 or whatever it's gonna be for.
okay. But yeah, ask him if there's specific reason for that outlot, and if there isn't, tell him get that renamed.
Okay.
Because that just creates a huge problem. I mean, it wouldn't be for you to sell it, but it could be for the future buyer.
For us, we don't really, yeah, I understand. For us, we're just trying to sell it, but for,
Yeah, I understand.
I'm moving north to Ashland, and I'm trying to bring some money from down here,
Mhm.
so.
I'm gonna make a motion to table this until next month.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So that's your.
You wanna move to Ashland?
Why would you?
Well, we're starting to, 9 families are starting a new church up there, instead of all being at one pile there.
Mhm. Moving it around.
Is there anything that, you want another map, and then, and Tim knows how to give this to you folks?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'm not
Yes.
real school in that.
And so this will come up in your meeting in 2 weeks?
It should. You have to give Tim a call tomorrow,
Yeah.
tell him to do a new certified survey map
Okay,
and get it to the plan commission.
so we'll do the plan commission first, and then we'll go through yours in a month.
Yeah.
Land Commission, 4th Wednesday. Ours is the, I'm sorry, Monday, yeah.
4th Monday?
And the plan is the 2nd Monday. Or,
The board meeting.
board is the 2nd Monday.
If there's a great big huge rush, you can request an additional town board meeting, but it will cost you.
150 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Per person?
No.
Sure. Don't answer that one so fast, kids.
Yeah.
All right, comprehensive plan survey return date. When do we need that survey back by? What's your suggestion, Dorothy?
When's the newsletter going out?
Should be out by the end of this month.
By the end of August?
This should be by the end of September.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you like it prior to your next September's?
That doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because, you know, we're gonna have to compile these.
So if I put September 30th,
That sounds good. Because it wasn't until after that we can meet with the planner there too.
and you're gonna get me another letter to put in the newsletter?
Yes, dear.
Okay. Anybody else? We don't need a motion for that, I just needed a date. September 30th. Anything else? Soon we'll be working on the budget, people. That's right around the corner. What I would like to do is, Patty, what was the word I used today? Propose budget. Go through our stuff and get you guys a proposed budget and give it to the, we're done, yeah.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you
guys.
much.
When you
Hi.
have Jim, and he says something about why he hasn't
I
labeled
know.
outlot, and it has to be labeled outlot, have him contact either Dorothy or myself.
Do we have your phone numbers, or?
So 753.
Yeah, unless Tim knows us.
Line 3.
Tim knows how to get a hold of us.
Yeah, because if there's a specific reason why, we just need to know.
Deb Davis. Tim knows how to get a hold of
Maybe,
both
yeah,
of us.
3,
But anyway, what we would like to do is,
2721.
Patty and I will go through it, and then we'll give a proposed budget to the finance committee.
No, I think
and you guys
He's
can
willing to change that, whatever works good.
We're trying to make your job easier.
I think it's fine for them in the future.
I'd be happy to come there earlier.
Yeah.
Like me too.
Yeah, I don't even take
Yeah, we'll
it.
sit down, do it, and then we'll.
Go back there,
Make
be all hot there.
your
You know, I
adjustments
mean,
if
they
you
decided to
feel
put
necessary, because you're gonna take your.
Sure, yeah.
And then I think what we'll do is have a finance committee meeting, then we'll have a
Yeah.
joint board and finance committee meeting, and then go from there. Before we take a few minutes public.
Sounds good.
I need a motion to adjourn, unless somebody has anything.
You got it.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Opposed?
get that changed over there.
Oh my God. I mean, the neighbor, we just-
Yeah, what street do you live on?
I just emailed this to you.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I wanted you to kind of.
The whole road down there?
We have no
I
idea.
didn't
I
think
have
you
no
are.
idea.
What's that?
We have no idea.
It's really short.